Hey folks, it's Frithgar here, how you doing? Welcome back to Farming Simulator 22 here in the pristine, untouched wilderness of the Calmlands. So ignore that bit, I changed that back to maize and put maize in there. I've got barley and I've got soybeans. And then I've got potatoes. I altered the numbers ever so slightly, so I think this one is 400 and then 40. So instead of 50, that one's 40, and then I think I went 25, 20, and 15 on these numbers here to sort of balance it out a little bit better. And then this one, instead of giving us 100, is 75. Because I felt the number of potatoes coming in sort of offset it a little bit too much. It'd be too easy to make too much pig food. So that's why I altered that one down to 75. So I might do the same on here. Because we are planning to grow corn, barley, canola. I mean, I wasn't actually planning to do root crops in this series. So maybe we could change this round and do something slightly different. I'm not sure on that. Let me know what you think in the comments section. Is there anything in particular you want to see for us, like doing pig food? Do you want me to change anything round at all? I'm interested to hear what you've got to say on that one. So at the moment, we've got 29 here for canola oil, and we've got 205 here on flour. So we're using up the flour reasonably quickly. We're using up the oats reasonably quickly. The canola oil is going to take a little bit longer. It's 3,600 cycles per month, but it's only 2 into 1. So it's going to take a little while to work through that, whereas the flour is going a little bit faster, 960, but we've got 15 per cycle on there, which is altogether a big slice more. Now, what I was going to do with this lot, I was thinking that we want to be able to store it here somewhere. But quite where we're going to store it, I don't know. Now, let's just turn off the loading. So, just for now, we'll be wanting to put it up here somewhere. I've only got 355 euros left, so we're running out of money fairly quickly. Give it another month or two, and we'll be able to make some money back. But a little shed or something here would be a good idea. It would sort of help us out a little bit, but we don't have that option right now. We don't have the money for it, but we do have free landscaping. So what we'll do, the outside edge of our land is, well, that's a little bit more difficult to see. So the tractor has gone way back past what we own. To be honest, I think that track is on the edge of what we own, isn't it? Let's jump out a minute. And that's the edge there of what we own. And we're going in this line here. So I can go up there, and then that's the edge. Yeah, we really haven't got a lot of room here for storing anything. About the best place that we've got is here in behind this wall, but we've got this huge, great big rock in the way. Which is not very convenient, is it? So there is the line to the edge of the land, and our lane that we've got coming in, that does go right on the very edge of what we own. And it goes over to about here. So there's a little tiny bit of room here in front of me. I'm just going to reverse up a little tiny bit right there. And then I can see where I'm standing. Okay. We've got a little bit of space here. We've got a straight line between us and that track coming up there. Just go to painting in here. And I think we're just going to put a gravel area down for this. So let's go with a fairly fresh gravel area, I think. Change that one over, and I'll make that a little bit bigger. And then, so I have got a bit of room here, so I'm going to just sort of make a patch here, I think. I want a neat, tidy square-ish. Put that up there like that. Get rid of some of those shrubs. Put this in here. Bring you back by 1, maybe? about that? What do you think? Is that alright? It's not. I'm not going for anything particularly grand here. I tell you what. I'll bring that out over there like that and just fill this bit in. And then if I run a straight line up to there, we'll do that. Get rid of the grass along that edge. Little... Gone. Oh, okay, that's too much. I've lost a bit up there. So I want to paint that back into... and do it like that. And actually, I'm okay to lose a bit of this grass here because we're going to be now traveling and sort of driving, going in onto this bit. It's not going to hurt to lose a little bit of the grass just in the front. So I could actually lose a bit up through there as well because we're going to be kind of wanting to shunt around here. This is still a very small mill. It's very quiet. So there's not a lot of work being done here on a regular basis, which means that... we can come in, we can pick up the pallets from that bit, and then we can just kind of shunt them in over this side, and that'll be absolutely fine. And we've actually finished doing our planting as well now, which is fan-schmastic. So I'll bring you in over here. And now the thing I really like about this trailer is if you press U like that, it will then show you all the loading and unloading positions, and you can move them around. And this is what I really like about this trailer, is that you have the option to move them around. So I can bring them over here. If I press U again, it puts it onto that side. And then if I do the right-hand control, and this is different. Normally it's left control for everything, but this is right-hand control. Press right control, and then just the WASD keys, and that will move it all around. So I'm just going to put these pallets of flour in that back corner right there, and then I press I just to normal unload. I don't need to take the straps off for this, incidentally. I can just do that. The straps all work automatically with this trailer, which again is fantastic. I really, really like this loading mod. The guy that has made the script for this has done a huge amount of work for it. There's so many updates that he has done over the course of developing it and making it all work. He's really, really put such a huge amount of work into it. Every tiny little bug that has come up, he has worked and worked and worked and worked on it, and he deserves nothing but the highest praise as far as I'm concerned. There were a few teething issues with the trailers. There were some things that it struggled with, and they've sort of slowly been ironed out over time. Because of the way the script works for loading bales onto the trailers, because there's other trailer packs that use this script. They've got it written into them. You will have some trouble getting bales to load in a field off of a slope. So if you're trying to load them on a slope, you won't necessarily get the trailer loading properly. But that's because they don't remove the actual bales from the game. There's others that remove the bales from the game and just give you a visual and tell you that it's stored in the trailer. And then when you get to your destination, they spawn them back into the game again. Now, that's a much simpler one, but what it doesn't do is allow you to have straps, because it uses the same... it's something to do with the same coding as the straps. So if you've got that one, if you've got that option, if you're using those type of self-loading trailers, auto-load trailers, you cannot have straps on them as well. And that is something I really hate. Because I like the auto-load trailers, but I don't like having non-existent bales and pallets and stuff when I'm moving stuff around. I want to have them on the trailer and then strap them down properly so I've got a full weight load. Yeah, if I've got a trailer load of bales, I want to know I've got a trailer load of bales. I want to be able to feel it with the tractor as I'm driving along. I want to feel the weight of that trailer behind me. Go around a corner too fast, I want it tipping over because there's too much weight on it. That sort of thing. I want to have that, and most of the auto-load trailers that use the other version of a script, well, it's not a version of this script, that use the other script, the one that swaps out the straps for the bales instead, I really don't like that one. It's too immersion breaking for me. I just don't like it at all. It spoils... For me, it spoils the whole experience. I just don't like it. I don't know why. I could be there for a very long time trying to explain exactly why, but it just feels wrong to me. This is why I really, really love that trailer that we've got over there and the other ones that use that same script. That way you're loading the bales in the field and you've got them physically on the trailer, and then you've got to drive accordingly with your load of heavy bales. And the other thing about it, like I was saying, with loading on a slope, it doesn't load very well when you're on a slope. And that's fine. That's absolutely fine. So what you do is you drive up the slope and you pick up whatever bales you can. You bring them down the bottom of the slope or take them up to the top, find somewhere a bit more level, and you deposit them all there. And then you load the big load to take out on the road from the field right there, and you head off. And that's actually much more like real life. That's actually what you do. If you're gathering up bales in a field, you don't load the trailer to the gunnels if you're just moving them around the field. You load the trailer about half full. You don't want it heavily loaded, because all you're going to do is end up compacting the soil really badly, and you really, really don't want to do that. So you'd only put about half a load on the trailer, whiz over to the stack site, unload the bales, and then that's where they're taken from. So doing that in game is absolutely fantastic. It's just like real life, and I've done that so many times in real life. You're loading up the trailer, you take it over, and then they're unloaded, and they're just kind of like piled up. And then when you're ready to go and do the road work, you load them again. Yes, it does mean extra handling of bales, and sometimes you don't do that. Sometimes you have a front loader and a grab, and you just go around the field making a few stacks in some more level-ish places, and kind of work with it that way instead. Now, rolling. That's the next job in here. We need a weeder in here. I don't have a weeder. Do we buy a weeder yet? I want pigs. I want to get pigs going. That's what I really want to get going. I mean, what I was actually... We got 9.5 grand for that small one there. It's 6 meters wide. Right, when it comes to pigs, what I was actually thinking of is not doing root crops at all. I might still get a pig food mixer and produce pig food with it, but I'll do something to compensate for the fact that we're not using root crops with it. These are row crop cultivator. That's a hoe, that row crop cultivator right there. 5,250. I could actually use that one. If I got 5 grand, that'd be the flower that we've got up the top. I could have that, and we could go over the field. We've got 9,500 for that one. But that's only small crops. So this is the only hoe that we've got here. Which is 51,000 euros. It's a little bit expensive. And then we've got that one there. These are for specific crops, which is why they've got different configurations on the tines. I don't actually want to use those. Because they're specifically designed for those crops, it kind of just... This is supposed to be a realistic series, so it feels cheaty doing that. It does feel a bit like cheating. So we would have to go with that one, and that's 31,000. This one over here, again, I don't really like the idea of this one. Even though it's an awful lot cheaper, this being a hoe, this one, you can see by the width of it right here, those bits there, it's hoeing in between the rows. This is one specifically designed for maize and nothing else. So you've got sugar beet, you've got sunflower. It's the same options as here. And this is the only one here that is for all crops, basically. As you can see, those run down in between the rows of like the barley that we've got and the other crops there. So a small weeder, yeah, that just goes along and it scratches the surface. And when weeds are first coming through, they're not normally very established. So you scratch over. The other plants will take a little bit of damage, but the weeds get a considerably higher amount of damage. Now, weeding a field like this, we've got canola growing in here, and this one grows quite wide. It's kind of a more herby one. It's got a wide leaf plant. You do tend to have less problem with weeds with this particular crop. So I'm happy to go over this with a weeder or a hoe. a hoe at this stage would actually do quite a bit of damage to the canola plant underneath because of the wide leaves. It would damage both of these crops. It wouldn't really do it a lot of good. But in real life, because of the wide spread of the canola, it does tend to choke out the weeds pretty quickly. It's quite good for that. So you tend to get less issues with weeds growing through a crop like that because they cover the ground and stop the light getting to the ground, and so they outcompete the weeds. And you don't really need to worry about it. But anyway, this is how the game is, and we're not buying a weeder this year. So what else do we want to do? Is there anything I want to do before I finish October? Just going to check the eggs down here. I got one pallet there. I'm not going to change that one over. The chickens, we got 7,400 litres of food in there. Eggs are producing nicely. Don't think there is actually anything else that I want to do. We've done all the planting. I'm not going to bother rolling because I can't be bothered to stand here and wait for a whole other job to be done on the field with a little tiny 3-meter roller. It's just going to take too long. I will keep the roller there, and we might use it for some of the other fields, but at the moment we won't. No space. Okay, so I should have moved that pallet. This is what I don't like about this pen. Alright. Although, you know, it doesn't actually really matter very much. If I go and pick those up and I move them back like this, the other ones will spawn. And even though it's saying no room at the inn for the eggs, down there, it will spawn them in now, but you've got to wait until 9 o'clock for that to actually spawn. We've got 5,750 foods. We're fine for food. Let's have a look in... No, I don't want you. I want this one. Oat flour is now out of space. So we need to head up there again and move the flour out of the way. I've only got 1,400 left for flour. Canola oil right here is spawning as well. So I've likely got 2 different spawns up there. Let's go and have a look. Gonna need to drive up with this one. I was going to say I'll go up there in a minute. I won't go up there just yet, but I do actually want to drive up there right now because I want that one to keep going. It's November that I want to be selling the stuff from there, so the canola oil, we're not going to have it all finished, but the flour will be finished and we will have some money coming from that. And then we've also got eggs, which we're selling this season. I want the eggs, though. I want them to spawn in just a moment. Let's have a look at the prices. Flour right now, well, that's next month. We already said that. Eggs. Eggs. Right, I'm on 1,535 at the moment, which is higher than it was there. We'll let that run from... We'll let it run through in a minute. I'm going to run up to the mill a second. That's the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to go up to the mill. And we're going to just move the pallets that we've got up there. We might want to do that a different way, because we're going to have to run up and down quite a few times, I think. In order to be able to make this work properly. Right. At the moment, I've not noticed any flickering with these trees. We didn't really have much of a problem with flickering with trees on this series anyway, but I've yet to really pick up on any flickering. If anybody has noticed any at any point during the last few episodes, please let me know, because maybe there's something else that we can do with this. But at the moment, everything does seem to be tickety-boo, which I think is most excellent. Alright, I've got 3 pallets of flour in there. So if I swing on round like this, and then I will pick up those 3 pallets of flour. Unos, dos, tres. And what's going to spawn? Is it going to be flour that spawns? It is more flour. Let's take that lot. And I'll turn that one off again. And then I want to have a look in here. And you. Right. Canola oil right there is saying spawn. I got 3,000 there. And I got 3,000 flour. I suspect The flour is going to go first because that's at the top. There we go. And then it will do the canola oil after that. So if I take the flour a minute and turn that one off, I can then do these separately, although I don't think I need to. I don't think I actually need to worry about that. Flour is next month. December. Oil, the canola oil right there is also December. So I don't actually need to worry about it. And there's the canola oil being laid out. But I'm still going to ignore that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this back this way. And I'm going to pick up all the flour that I've got over there as well. It's got beside it, like this. And I'll load it up. Put the whole lot up on there. And then all I need to do is just make sure that... Yeah, that's actually just fine right there. And drop all that there. So we've got a huge amount of flour that is now ready. And I'll pick this up. I'll pick this lot up in a minute. Let's take those three. And I'll back round here. So now we're only going to be having the... Well, we've got a little bit more flour still to come out. I think we're going to end up with one more pallet, maybe? Look. Oat flour. 1,400. 67. Maybe 1,900. Yeah, we're not going to make 2 pallets. There'll be 1 more pallet of flour to come out. It would be nice if it was 2 pallets because it'd be exactly a trailer load, but that's fine. Okay, yeah, you can unload there. And then we'll have the canola to come out, and that, well, we may not end up selling that at the end of the month, but we will see. End of next month, rather. Okay, so now that I've moved that bit, now what I want to do is... Okay, whoa! Right, so we've got some flickering going on. But I don't know if that is something to do with the flashing beacons. Turn the beacon. Okay, that's definitely not flash. I don't know what that is then. That's a very different kind of flickering, though. That's... If I stayed on the road correctly. I don't know what's going on with that. That's weird, that is. But it seems to be a slightly different sort of flickering than what I had previously, and I suspect that it's also to do with these beacons. It might be. It might also be the speed that we're running the game at. I wonder if that's got anything to do with it. Now, if I jump this forward a little bit, I'm going to jump off of here, and we're going to go over and we're going to have a look. So it said that there was no room, but it did that several times. I suspect now we should, once it gets to 9 o'clock, there we go. There's the pallet that it wasn't able to spawn out. It's still allowing us to spawn it out. It stores it up inside. So we've got 603 eggs on there. These are 1,400 per pallet. So I've got a reasonable amount of eggs here. We're going to make some nice money out of this. Now, next thing we need to do is decide when exactly we want to go and sell. That is the next thing. Right, we're on 1,533, so the price is still going up. I'm going to go all the way up now to 360 times speed, and we're going to watch this like a hawk. 532. Unfortunately, the price is going down here, which means that the price is actually going down. And yeah, I think we've hit the maximum. If it was going the other way, if we didn't have it currently dropping in value, it would actually have worked out a bit better for us. But, well, that's just the way it is. Okay, let's go on around this way. I will pick up... So we've got 4 full pallets, 4.5 pallets. 5,600 eggs there, plus a few more. There, 6,305 eggs. Or litres of eggs. So 6,300. We're getting 1,500-ish per 1,000 litres. That's not bad. That's not a bad start to the winter sales. We've got next month, we've got some really good stuff coming up. And yeah, okay, so the whole draw distance thing that I was talking about as the cure, possibly it hasn't worked. Possibly it hasn't worked, but is that because I've got the flashing beacons going? Let's turn off the flashy beacons and leave them off for a little bit. Maybe that has interfered with something here. It might actually be. Flashing beacons might be part of the problem. Alright. I can live without using flashing beacons. Depending on the country that you're in, and depending on the area that you're in the country as well. Flashing beacons have got different rules. In the UK, you might not actually need to use flashing beacons on this road. If it was a dual carriageway, like a... well, you can't drive a tractor on a motorway anyway. If it was a dual carriageway, so, like a big main road, I guess... Well, it wouldn't really be a freeway. It's kind of like a step down from a freeway, I suppose, what you'd have in the US. And the rest of the world, well, I don't really know. A motorway is somewhere where you're not allowed to drive tractors. A motorway's got a minimum speed of 30 miles an hour. You're not allowed to drive agricultural machinery. You're not allowed to take horses or bicycles on the road, anything like that. It is just for cars and lorries and trucks and vans and stuff like that, who can drive reasonably quickly. So it's the only type of road that has a minimum speed as well. You can't use those, but the dual carriageway, which is kind of like a step down from that, you have to have flashing beacons on all the time if you're driving a slow-moving vehicle. So a tractor has got to have flashing beacons. A road like the one that we've got out here wouldn't necessarily have to have flashing beacons, but I'm not using flashing beacons right now, and that tree is going crazy. So why are you flickering still? I fixed you. I went into the game files and I did fixes, and it was supposed to be fine, and we just got 9,600 euros. So we've got 9.5 grand, and then we've got all the flour and the canola oil that we want to try and sell next month. We could make a fortune out of this. That's not going to be enough to get pigs, is it? Let me have a look a minute. I know there was a small pig pen, wasn't there? There was one. Oh, it was that one. That's the only one. It's a free-range pig pasture. That might be the answer to our problems. I mean, that one's 28,000. It's got a fence on it. This one's 8,000. Doesn't come with a fence. We've got to be able to put water in it. That might be what we want to look at. We'll see what happens after we've sold the flour next month. So we're going to head back home. Unfortunately, folks, that is all we have got time for today. A massive thank you to everybody who has earned their way into the Great Book of Names. To find out some more details about all the names coming past, please head into the description and click on the link to the Discord. It's a link to another video. The link is on the other video. Please also consider checking out the links there for Nitrado, who provide gaming servers for games like Farming Simulator, Minecraft, Ark, and several others. And there's also Fanatical, who will help support your gaming habit by providing you with cheap games and also giving me a small commission on anything that you buy using my link. If you've enjoyed this particular video, then please head down below and give us a like. And if you really enjoyed it, then please tell your friends all about me. Get them to come and watch as well. That would be awesome. And until next time, thank you very much for watching. This is Frithgar. Goodbye, and see you later.